by how many calories are in it, because there's 180 calories in that bag.
How many are in the mango?
I don't know entirely, like, off the top of my head. Let me find out. I would think there's more. What were you gonna say?
Probably
Think
like
so?
250.
Hold on, let's see.
Yeah, I was thinking it might be a little. I mean, but that's a good point though.
250 and about 80 grams.
That
of sugar.
still doesn't leave them for very much of a profit margin.
Right. No.
Someone's in. What up, David?
80 grams of sugar, I bet.
No.
Mango. Whole.
30 grams.
On that, I'm talking about. Well, when that dries up, it kills all the sugar.
Oh.
What is this?
Oh.
I tried to go by.
Anyway, hold on. This shot. Right.
You're retarded, bro. You're
Like I
so
tried
getting-
to like
I mean, yeah.
go live.
Where you
with
got
it,
it?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm getting a whole spectrum,
Wait,
but
Large mango.
Got it to you.
Yeah,
that
well-
tripod's it's a bad tripod. There's only so much.
Alright, hold on.
You can't make it perfect. Wait, just chill.
Yeah, getting like
You don't know how to use the tripod.
150 to 200 calories.
Yeah, that's what I said, or 180.
Yeah.
How much sugar?
They're lying
I
down.
said 80.
See, for the 200 calorie one, it's 46 grams.
Just a little off.
Is it live? Are we live?
Yeah, but these are. I mean, these are all. It's like none of these are
13.
no
Fuck
different.
yeah.
These are all. It's all
Guys.
Can you hear us? How does it sound?
We gotta turn off the AC. Oh, that's not there'd be more. But I
So
guess you
good,
know
though.
what? A mango, half the damn thing is the pit, right?
Yeah.
It's got that
Yeah.
long ass.
Like, what's the problem?
Yeah, but I think they're really not. You don't eat that part.
Right. So.
You think he thinks you do?
I got.
So for
Teeth
one
is fucking
mango, you
steel.
need
I can't
36
tilt
minutes
this
to cycle.
down,
So you
it'll
need
fall
about 45 minutes to eat.
So that's about as far as I want to tilt it.
So if I go higher,
What time?
I'm gonna need to tilt it
Those
down.
taste like
I can't.
So.
do
I bought a bunch of shit actually.
No, but that's
Been
what I'm
making
saying. If I raise
low
it up,
calorie
look,
cheesecake
I'm gonna need to
pastries.
tilt
No, I
the
get it.
camera
Yeah,
down,
but
but I
okay.
can't
Don't
do
let
that
him
with
down,
a
man.
shitty
Don't
tripod.
let him
So I mean, this
Oh,
is
I brought a
good
lot.
shot.
Oh, eat them all, yeah.
That's what they're designed to cheesecake. Low calories. Just about all purpose.
I don't see what the problem is with that.
Oh,
You
maybe
really
I
don't.
can live off those.
Oh.
I do.
Well, that's just because.
Every single night I will have them.
Yeah,
I just
okay,
started
well,
my diet today.
what about-
so,
Everyone's saying different.
Well, no, now
I'll
the
pay,
sound
if I
should
like
be
them,
better.
I'll pay you to make me them.
Okay. I mean, it's like.
You just teach
You
her how
really
to do it.
What?
Well, Mikey, what you
Yeah,
need to do is you
so
need to go in the other
fucking
room
simple.
where it's
That's kind of
quiet
fun.
and like
That's
watch
why I
it.
brought it
listen.
over here.
You know what I mean?
I
Just show me, I'll watch you do it.
Yeah, it's really fucking.
I'll watch
easy.
you, I'll do it with you.
So give a man a fish, and he can eat for the day. Teach a man how to fish, and he can eat for the rest of his life.
Fucking wise words right there. Teach you how to fish.
Thank you.
Teach Danielle how to give
Want some
Danielle
mango?
a cheesecake pastry. She's satisfied for
All right,
life.
guys.
Teach Danielle.
We're
She's satisfied for
we're
life.
getting ready to start this meeting here
There's no
pretty
food.
soon. Can everyone hear us? Does it look okay?
Well, I brought a bunch of different toppings. I brought like fruit leaf
I'll watch
toppings.
you, I'll do it with you.
Dope.
Peanut butter.
So, Andrew
I
wants
usually
to
do
train
three
us.
couples, but
Can you do like dark chocolate,
dude, yeah, you can.
cheese,
It's one
or
of my favorites.
strawberries, raspberries?
Any I forgot blueberries. But yes, and then I've got some like sugar-free caramel drizzle and chocolate.
I haven't gone to Walmart yet.
Is this on YouTube?
I got some of the shit that you.
Watch it get brighter. I just fixed it.
I might Amazon it.
Watch.
I was thinking about that today. You don't need to go to Walmart. You can.
It's more of like, I'm just so fucking lazy.
Right, but also I went to Walmart
Here,
yesterday,
you're
and I thought I was gonna have the
Hey,
numbers.
Dino.
Really?
Hey, Dino.
I hate it.
Come here. No, come here. Come say hi, Dino.
It just.
Dino,
if
when
I
are you
go, I
gonna
have
not
to go in
be
the
so
morning before
scared of
it's
everything?
just.
It's here to come. People be ready for you.
Drives me insane.
All up in the shot.
Can't hang.
Um,
You skip my gum out.
Looks good.
Pat. Oh. Never mind.
We're live.
Oh, cool.
So
I need the link to send to people.
Oh shit. Well.
What's in that jar? What is that?
It looks like macaroons.
I just got That, oh. I wonder if it just got better. Alright guys, sorry, we're still figuring this out. We're getting it, we're kind of perfecting the process. I'm gonna turn off this AC because it's loud. Does everyone want to get a water? Oh my god. Oh, it's so good.
Wow.
Who is it?
Roy boy.
Who's Roy?
He's the fucking man.
Roy boy.
Why is he the man?
Bro, we're live streaming.
Hi.
Oh, nice.
Like good
Hell yeah.
quality,
Oh, what's going on?
What's up,
Good to
brother?
see you, man.
Good to see you,
How you
man. Good.
quality audio. Hey,
Michael. Hey, Mike. Nice to meet you.
Mikey.
Hey, Mikey.
What's your name?
Nice to meet you.
Roy.
Hey, Roy, Danielle.
Hey, Danielle. Roy.
Nice to meet you.
What's up, dude?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you bring?
Santa. Finished my lunch.
Get it, brother.
That black dude at the meeting.
The Rasta
yeah,
man.
He comes, dude.
Oh, nice.
He aims for the throat.
Yeah.
You say that.
Yeah. He's,
Hey, and
he's
you
a
know
big
who
Frank
I
with
think
his
might be
sponsor.
coming tonight is Jonathan Shaw. Hey, you know
Oh,
we had,
wow,
we had
really?
Randy on the podcast last 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's one of the best experiences.
Yeah, Randy's great.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, it was
It'd be
great.
cool to see Jonathan.
But
too.
so, yeah. So we're gonna do. So are you going on? Is it going on Netflix?
Oh, the doc?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
What's going on? How is it releasing?
Oh, it's already been released through,
On Amazon?
Yeah, like all the platforms. So through Comedy Dynamics is the distributor, and then they put it on like all of their platforms. And,
So,
I actually
like-
don't know if they've taken it to Netflix.
So if I want to watch it right now, I go where?
Oh, iTunes would probably be the easiest.
Just to buy it.
Amazon.
But
Yeah,
you-
anywhere.
oh,
like
okay, so
there's,
you have to
it's on
buy
like
it.
yeah.
It's
or
not
right
streaming
now. It's
anywhere.
yeah. Right now it's renting for 99 cents. They just
Ooh.
On
they just
iTunes.
did it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and you get like a
So-
analytics on what's how much you're earning.
I could if I reach out and ask. I just haven't.
Wait, how's the? It looks
But,
like it's
yeah,
choppy.
so
Yeah, the internet.
they have
Oh,
like
fuck, dude.
if you literally just Google Nevermind, it's on a ton of platforms to rent it or buy it. But it's not. They didn't make a deal with Netflix or anything like that.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe they will eventually.
Alright, I gotta
It's
change
kind
the
of weird how
Wi-Fi.
that works.
Right.
All right, so it should have just went out for a second. Sorry.
I think Netflix
Then
can only
it's
take
gonna
so
come
much.
back on.
Yeah, and it's a. I actually like.
So, I
I
wonder,
wants to pitch it because they
You
might
know
not
what would
offer
be
it,
cool
but
is if everyone could turn
they're
their
trying to
fucking.
make money off
Oh,
it, so
sold
they
the
might be
shirt.
like, oh, why
Dude,
would
this
I
is how it
give away
starts,
Netflix?
guys.
I already have a huge audience.
Yeah.
This is fucking amazing.
So I don't know.
Sorry, Roy. I'm just we're live streaming this, and then we do the podcast. So, I'm just kind of like the internet speed. I don't. Oh,
You know,
it
like
looks like it's better now.
Oh, you do the live stream on YouTube. So is that a switch for all the mics?
Yeah. So,
Nice.
but these are the mics right now.
You're an idiot, bro.
So these are what we're getting.
Why?
One mic.
Why
These
did that
are
make you so
directional
mad?
mics we use for the podcast.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
They also will work for this, but I have the
Absolutely
Yeti coming.
Why'd
I'm
you get
still
so mad?
perfecting the live streaming.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay,
Like-
so you're using the laptop as. Oh no, you're using your DSLR
Yeah.
as the camera.
Yeah. So
and then
this
that's
is
the mics to bring it in, so it all goes into one audio.
yeah. So this is the image
Gotcha.
here that we're looking at.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
And I mean, bro, like this whole TikTok thing.
I don't like how there's like a 2-minute delay.
was that the Sony?
Oh, you don't like that? He doesn't like how there's a delay.
Like a
Oh,
2-minute
Should we?
delay.
Should we?
Really?
What should we call for that?
Yeah.
I think I've
That's
said the
hilarious.
same
That's like
thing.
Yeah, hey, can you come
Rider,
over?
right?
There's a delay.
Hey, is that
The
an
delay,
A7 2 or 3?
To A7S.
How can you fix that delay?
I mean, it's all
It's
about
good
these
for
black.
that. It's perfect for that.
Yeah, it's chill for that, but it's all about these black. So so can I just ask everyone, how's the sound? How's the video? Is it skipping? Is it delaying? We have 12 people in the room. The meeting starts in 10 minutes. We should be getting more.
We have 15.
15. We should be getting more people. Last time we had 30 people. So they're like, there was like 30 people like in the whole meeting with us
That's unbelievable.
that really need to hear this shit.
Does Troy come?
Fuck that fool. No, he was helping like me put it all together, but
I haven't talked to him.
I'm
Wow.
surprised like Cole doesn't come, or Jesse.
Yeah, well, they're in the.
Yeah, what about Jesse? How
Well,
did he-
Jesse's.
Yeah, kid.
Who knows? Ever since the whole Sharin thing happened.
Let's go.
Hey, his wife, I don't think fucks with me very much, because Jesse gave me some CBD that was like that had THC in it and told me that it didn't, and I got high on it and I posted it all over the internet, and then I got my sponsor high on it and posted it all over the internet, and then it led back to Jesse, because I'm just like there's no secrets in my life.
Yeah.
So if you enter my life, you're entering like a
Brother.
world
Okay.
of like
Yeah, we met.
exposing whoever's in this house is if you're gonna anything that you want. So
So there's like no separate
Dude,
tradition.
I like
You
what
live
you.
like
oh no,
non-seven
I
tradition.
literally just no. Hold on, yeah. Well, I mean, bro, that's
You're like,
a-
I like the tradition except for the
I mean,
separate.
bro, that's a wrap, dude.
Cool.
You best, man.
I like it.
Say it again.
No, it's cool.
What
You're
up,
doing
dude?
your thing. That's what's
You mean the
important.
last 10 years that I
Yeah,
haven't seen you,
right.
right? Well, let's see. You got a moment?
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you have a
I
middle?
know you've been acting and all that stuff. Yeah.
No, but
Last
bro,
hour.
no, but do you want to know why? Dude, what up, bro? Oh, it's so good to see you. Are you
Good to
Is
meet
Joe
you.
gonna
Yeah.
come? Great. Either way. Take a seat, bro. So this
I've been
is,
working
you
the,
know,
like streaming.
Yeah.
and every day I have messages from you. I'm sober because of you. I'm learning how to be sober. So it's like if we stay anonymous, 28, cool, 100, no, 200.
Whoa, 284,000 people are following. That's
insane.
That's insane, dude.
No, but like,
Hi.
no, there's something.
I'm Danielle.
Corey.
Yeah.
Hi, Corey. Nice to meet you.
We have
Oh, it's been like 12
fan
years.
base
Where are
on
you
the
from?
podcast.
Oh, wow.
Cora?
Like I have
Oh,
real
cool.
out,
Yeah, I
like,
grew
it's
up
like
here.
a
Cool.
big
Real
Cool.
big.
Yeah, I want you to be. I want to. I would
Have you
love for
seen
you.
any
You
of
know,
these?
I've always been.
No, I have. I mean,
remember when you used to come over.
Been listening to his podcast. a lot.
Yeah.
You're like the best. So I'm so glad you're here, and I hope you can come more. And
Sounded
Yeah,
interesting.
okay.
I
I
Good. I'm
want
glad
to
you're here.
Yeah.
send as many people your way as I can.
My
I mean,
brother's
you used to be doing.
friend,
I don't know what you're
what's his
doing.
name,
Are you
passed
still
away.
doing
Oh,
the fun
yeah.
stuff?
That horn. Yeah, that's what I
I don't
saw.
know.
Okay.
Just like the
All right.
whole,
You
I was
have
gonna say
time.
there's a
the
lot
dog
of
guy just kind of
accidents.
consumed
Yeah,
later,
okay,
I guess.
that makes
And then
sense.
The what?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
the
the
whole
dog.
has like consumed
Okay.
How's your brother doing?
Well, we'll talk
as well
about
as
it.
the business, yeah.
We'll talk about it tonight.
He's awesome, yeah. He lived
Bro,
over
hey, so
Great,
this is
yeah.
Kellard's
there. We lived
brother.
over in,
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't even like believe that.
What are you doing?
You know Kellard?
Still doing the music?
Yeah, we're doing the music.
Who's Keller?
He's my brother's friend. I just got off the phone with Prosser.
Yeah, Gracie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he just got
It's
60,000
actually
words
good.
in the house.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Some
know.
kid in the
Okay.
house.
Yeah, I got
fucked
it.
his
That's a nice area.
girlfriend
like 3 years.
and told Prosser.
How are you?
So his girlfriend came to
Good.
visit. They
I'm glad
fucked.
And yeah,
Prosser
so we're
found
all
out
like,
about it.
yeah,
And he
he's
didn't
in the street,
tell
like,
anyone.
he's in the street, crazy as fuck.
And now the kid's out of the house,
Yeah,
and
no,
they
Basically,
7 days.
you can't like
it's a wrap.
do that.
Right.
Right.
Oh, yeah. You have to be online.
That's something. That's like breaking the
Offering
rules.
on the
Right.
house.
Right.
Like,
Hey man, I'm like
Okay.
really stoked.
Yeah,
Out
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
You guys didn't do it here?
Trying to get
Yeah.
yeah. Since I texted you that
Are you like a
first
SAG
time.
You've just been busy.
That's good.
Yeah, just had
Okay,
to-
well anytime you can
Yeah.
make it,
Yeah.
come.
When did
And
you-
this is the beginning
When
of
did you get like right
what
when
hopefully
COVID
will
hit?
be like a cool
Oh, how do I get
little
on there?
movement.
Yeah.
And you have people watching live right now, so they because a lot of people need to.
Yeah.
Gracie, be careful, bro.
25% of
But
Gracie,
work.
all right, I'm gonna get some water. We should
Can you
get some.
tell me how to get on there so I can send this
Just
out?
go to
You
like-
say
Water.
22
Oh.
I just had a call.
That's it.
I'm not sure.
So, Gracie, watch
Well,
the
they're saying like
cables.
I think it's gonna. I don't think tours will happen. I think maybe a few things here and there, but like full festivals.
So,
Mikey,
do you want to grab some waters?
You guys want water? Who wants water?
Let's just get a couple of waters.
Not until there's like
You got one. What's up, brother? How are you?
or this thing goes away or.
Wow.
There's 24 people.
You were with them for 2 years. Who are you managing?
I was doing tours, so I did Ozzy Osbourne, I did Iron Maiden.
Something I'm down.
I did
Yeah, I know your brother.
Malone,
I can tell the resemblance.
Yep, I did like 21 Savage, Ozzy, Marilyn
Yeah, he was. He actually lives like. Or I don't know if he still lives off of.
Godsmack.
Yeah, I'm like right
still there.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
I've done
Cool. Yeah. Ran into a few times up at the gas station over there.
Oh, really?
Are you? Is he older?
What's that?
Oh,
Older or younger?
Yeah.
He's younger than me.
Really?
Yeah.
You look younger than him.
You get that a lot. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're Mike. Really good machine.
Dude, take it, bro.
I know.
You know? I'd run with that shit.
Yeah, I drove him all the time.
So send
We
me
always do that. We go, who's older?
Yeah.
He never wins that one.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a couple of years, but you know.
He's a different man than
Yeah.
last few years. Yeah.
It's good now. Good.
He's gotten pretty healthy.
Dude, yeah, I've seen him like on like social media. He's
Yeah.
looking pretty good shape and
Yeah,
everything.
a whole different mindset.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm glad he's doing well.
Yeah.
I don't remember like back in the day when like he's a little bit chubbier and like loose hair and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, I met him through.
I don't know. He has like a bunch of
Stripe
people on his
and
channel.
Yeah, yeah.
So this
Yeah.
is from 2 months ago. They posted it. So
Run the Jewels,
Oh,
yeah,
all the Persecuted, Beastie Boys.
yeah,
I just all I did was
don't yell.
Yeah.
pretty cool, right?
Water. Did you know about
Water?
Did you know
Oh, I'm
about
good,
this,
thank you.
Pat?
Mike, y'all take
Rick
one since you
Owens
got it.
podcast?
Yeah,
Danielle, what do you
Tracy
want?
Marshall
I'm good,
started
honey.
that with me.
Thanks, bro.
Wow.
Cold brew?
Yeah, Tracy's like in with
Cold
this.
brew? You get fucked up with me?
Sorry, Danielle.
It's okay.
Bro, if you can fucking so
Mikey.
soaked Roy's here.
Give me some.
Can't
No.
even tell you.
What you want, girl?
No.
Good evening, everybody.
Joey!
How y'all doing?
Yeah.
Is
Hold on, we got Roy here.
Hey.
Would anyone
Bring it in. You're heading back.
Any ice
How are
water
you,
for
man?
that?
Wow, you guys are really
Ice waters.
We have a special
Going twice.
group of people here.
Right there.
Get over here, buddy.
I almost wish we had more time.
How are you?
Yay! I love you. Oh, yeah.
Hi,
great.
Cornelia. You guys see?
Okay, so Danielle does. She got so mad. She got so mad. She's like, you're a fucking idiot. Why? Yeah, what is
Because I'm like, stop putting shit out there. Like, I don't guess.
So you love him. That's cool.
I do love him.
There's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
love.
but I love him
is
like a
love.
friend.
Love
Like,
is
get
love.
out of here.
Yeah, but so why don't you
Look at
what
this
up?
shitty fucking
How are
tripod.
you?
Tim and Salty took my tripod.
You didn't even
So I'm using a fucking GoPro tripod.
You're holding on to
I
the
can't
jacket.
raise
This
it.
is my
Yeah,
You're
You got
stupid.
purple
I don't
hair.
know. Yeah, I don't
even
know.
know.
I mean,
My phone.
I probably could
Oh, my
do
phone.
multiple
Dude, I can't
angles. I
Be
just
disconnected.
I know. Well, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Important my likeness.
no, it's chill. Yeah, it's chill.
Dude, you know,
It's just gonna keep getting better, you know.
I've been actually.
Gracie girl.
Oh, shit.
There we go.
Yeah, Gracie, come here. Is she bothering you?
No, not at all.
She
Hold up.
just
Let me
gets
get-
super
oh,
excited, and like he lost
a
the
good
YouTube
girl.
feed. Did he just lose
She's
his
a
feed?
good little girl.
He just lost his feed. He's gonna lose it.
What?
He lost the feed.
Is this yours?
Yeah, but I don't get it. Like,
Can't really see.
but how did the
that's
feed get
cool.
lost
I can
by
kinda
that,
see.
though?
No,
That's-
I'll move. All right. Here, sit your seat. Who's?
No, there's space.
Yeah, that's good.
There's space.
I just gotta like make sure I could grab Gracie and like beat.
How you
I
been?
wasn't gonna bring her, but
You,
I feel like a dick for like
How did
keeping
that
her from her best friend.
Like,
every week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, you leave on Fiona, Bird of Paradise.
What is happening?
Sprouted.
how
Everyone's face is so funny.
You didn't post a single 30 for 30.
I know, I'm going to right now. Because I don't want to, like, lie. Can we do 30 later?
Just say, just say 50. So you're doing 30 for 30 with not. Just do 15
No,
for
because I didn't want
That's how it works anyways. It's like if you just say you did it, it's like you burn the same amount.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that the truth?
Yeah.
Someone fix it before Pat freaks.
I don't know how to fix that. That's not. I don't think that responsibility.
Yeah, that ain't my world.
That's just gone. Look at the world.
Yeah,
Yo,
Alex!
My buddy's working on
Alex!
Supernatural still, and he said that.
your live dropped.
In Vancouver, he said it's like same thing getting tested.
Hillary, do you want to try to scoot it over here?
Yeah, bring it in. Bring it tight. Bring it tight.
Oh my god.
The live is gone.
Sit.
Can you guys all just come in a little bit?
Yeah.
Gracie, sit.
Just so we can, maybe if we can
Sit.
fit
In
it.
and over.
Sit.
Or no, like out, I mean.
Out.
Sorry,
This is a lot.
just so we can
This is a
fit
lot of energy.
one more.
Mine's the same way.
Yeah, shit's frozen. Can you fix it right away?
What'd you say?
Yeah, it's working. We're good. We're good.
It was frozen.
So yeah, if you sit like here, right here, and then you scoot over a little bit. Which way? Towards. Yeah.
Jack's coming, so we need a
She'll
chair.
relax. My thing is like her tail will take out this coffee if I let her go. Relax.
Lazy girl.
So amped.
It's her best friend. Rami's her best friend.
Yeah, just in case.
That little black dog Rami is her best friend in the world.
I know.
So like if I let her go,
Building
it's
tall
fucking
houses and shit.
pandemonium.
I love it. He's got his camera with these things messing with
Yo, Paul, what up, brother?
There he is.
Even both.
What? We got a full house.
So much, so it's like.
How are you?
Try to get as much
Yeah,
of
that's
stuff
you
on
right
fun,
there.
you know?
Or any open seat.
Like his little setup too. He gave me some vegetables.
This is Paul, everyone.
What up, Paul?
What's up, Paul?
Pete?
He aims for the throat.
That big book. That big book.
Yeah, man.
There's a seat right there.
Right there?
This is gonna be. Well, here, why don't we do this? Yes. Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it.
Magic for. You don't want
Good, how are you? Oh, sure.
What?
Oh, Troy.
Hey, we were just talking about you. That's weird.
Bro, are you like here?
No, I'm working.
Hi.
Oh, are you
I
there?
took power. Not girly.
Yeah.
Wait, do we have my tripod?
The live?
Okay, do you want to? Can
You want it?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
look at the tripod I'm using.
Good to see you. Pretty good. We'll switch it out real
Did
quick.
you think you were gonna come here and like not
Work me?
immediately?
I do it without you saying anything. If I want to do it, I want to make it better. That's just.
He's asking.
I mean, I just see a problem.
Hire me. Are you out of here?
Director of photography.
Hey Pat,
Thank
it's
you.
meeting time.
Yeah, of course.
Troy.
Should we tell him to stop trying to switch tripods?
Yeah, I think so, man. I mean,
There we
Just
go.
start.
Let's
Let's
go.
okay. This is I'm Billy. I'm an alcoholic. You don't have to be if you're here. So this is a big meeting. Things are getting crazy now. So please, would really appreciate if people start to clean up their trash, put chairs back, be helpful in any possible way they can after the meeting. So this is a Sermon on the Mount meeting. We read out of this book from Emmett Fox. All are welcome that want to improve their lives. There's a lot of addicts and alcoholics, and there's also people who aren't. We're sort of all inclusive here. What we do is we read a paragraph going from my left, and then when you read the paragraph you can share on it, or anyone else can share on it. And we just do that until the time runs out, really. And we start off with a 4-minute meditation just to try to get in the zone a bit. Please only share 5 times because the meeting's big. That way everyone gets a chance to share. And also please raise your hand so we don't have chaos, and say your name so that we all can know each other. Plus we're streaming, so everyone on there wants to know who you are as well. And what else?
It's an hour or an hour and a half?
It's an hour and a half meeting. You can smoke, joke, no tokes. That's it.
Like that.
That's it.
I like
So we need a timer.
Noted.
I can do it.
Anyone want a time?
Gus can.
Gus, thank you. So shares are, it's going to go off at 3 minutes, and then you have 2 to wrap it up. So 5-minute shares.
So you want to let people know 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. So let's
hold on, we do a 4-minute, right?
4-minute meditation.
Timer. Okay. Starts now.
Alright, so we're gonna start over what we did last week because we just really weren't done discussing it. And it's the last beatitude before we move into some new stuff in the book. Pat, do you want to do a recap, or you want me to try to do well, we're going to just start it over, so there's no need for a recap, unless you got something to say.
Well, I mean, really, we're just, this book is giving us kind of a outline or design, kind of a design for living, so that we don't let our fears and our ego and kind of like ruin our relationships, and it's kind of putting it into a specific, like right now I'm mad because this book is filled with coffee. Someone spilled the fucking coffee.
Okay, here's a book.
It's just, I'm fucking insane, you know what I mean? I need to know that, and I need, these are like, these are Beatitudes, like blessed are the meek for they shall inherit the earth. Like, what does it mean to be meek? Emmett Fox is going to explain that to us. What was the last one? What was the last one we read?
We're on the last beatitude in the book, and we're going to redo it.
We're
on page 43.
43.
In the middle there, in the italicized letters, we're going to...
Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Well, righteousness.
Yeah, like all the angels, all the saints got like
for being
they were all in
believers of
trouble.
Jesus.
Like Jesus was fucking killed on the cross for like doing good things. So yeah, that's the one we're on. But
Yeah.
we're gonna read it again because there's so much in it. Like actually, I shot No Effects last weekend. It was just kind of amazing. But me and Tim got into an argument, and me and Billy were talking about it last night, and he used the reading to help me see how I can have more peace with that. You know what I'm saying? So that wasn't much of a recap, but
Alright, let's jump into it. I mean, we're going to do it again anyway, so we don't really need to recap.
Right.
If it makes you
Hillary,
feel
would
any better,
you mind?
my first sponsor told me you ain't got a real book unless you spill coffee on it.
All right. If anyone wants any fucking macaroons,
Who needs a book? Damn, you got any money?
we're gonna have to buy some more books.
I think there's here.
Take that thing.
Maybe like here actually,
I think there's an extra here.
just so they can see me.
Plus or?
There's a
Sit down
coffee
to
one.
put in.
It's a
Here you
two
go.
plus.
Two
Any
plus?
money for
Oh,
books.
it's 18.
Oh, I got it. This is a fucking dream come true. I'm so glad everyone's here. This is incredible.
What is it, like 13 a book, something like that?
I mean, we're good. I'm just so happy. This is so cool.
We'll order more. Alrighty, let's get into it. Let's do it. She's reading.
Good.
Goes to the left and around.
Got it.
Thank you. Or a little later. Where are we?
Who else needs a book?
I
Page
mean,
43,
that's
the middle.
so much better.
Can you already see it?
Not
43.
quite.
You don't
I can
Oh,
tell
okay.
where you're going with it.
Danielle, there's a book right
Is
there.
there-
The
yeah,
note-
there's
okay,
books.
cool.
Oh, there you go.
Everyone got a book?
There you
We're
go.
good.
This is great.
Oh my gosh, this is
Yeah.
Dude,
neat.
that's fucking
Jack's
perfect.
coming.
Maybe you could
If
plug
you
the
want.
link
Jack
to
can go
the
over there,
book
doesn't
for
matter.
people that don't
So
have
look,
it.
guys, if you Google Sermon on the Mount, I'm sure you can pull up
I'm
the
gonna start
fucking
anyway.
book.
Oh wait till I start because then.
We're on page 43,
Hey, send them on me right now.
To his left.
like right in the middle of the
In the middle
meeting.
of what's going on.
Supposed to be
I
to his
supersede
left,
all
the
this
first.
bullshit.
You should be in the meeting. Is what you should be doing.
Wait, this
You
is
guys
Emmett
aren't ready
Fox.
for that level of spirituality.
Oh, I thought that was Emmett Fox.
You're
funny.
He hasn't surrendered that deep.
Who's reading?
I am.
That's Emmett
Let's go.
Ricky.
All right. Hi, my name's Hillary, and I happen to be an alcoholic.
Hey, Hillary.
Blessed are they which are persecuted for the righteous sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, For great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
They the prophets.
If you like.
See,
yeah,
that's why we're
or-
reading it
or
again.
Yeah, go ahead, or we could jump into it, but we did that last time and it didn't seem to work, so.
Okay, well, all right. In the view of what we know about the essential character of the teaching of Jesus, that the will of God for us is harmony, peace, and joy, and that these things are to be attained by cultivating right thoughts or righteousness. This is a very startling statement. Jesus tells us again and again that it is our Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom, and that the way in which we are to receive it is by cultivating serenity or peace of soul. He says that the peacemaker who do this, praying in meekness, shall obtain prosperity, inherit the earth, have their mourning turned into joy, and that in fact, whatever they shall ask the Father in the manner of this teaching, that will he do. Yet here we are, tongue twisters, told that it is blessed to be persecuted by the result of our right thinking or righteousness, for that by which this means we shall triumph, that it is a cause for rejoicing and gladness to revile and accused, and that the prophets and great illuminated ones suffered these things too. Hi, my name's Hillary and I'm an alcoholic.
Hi,
Hillary. And I actually do love the beatitude, blessed are those that are persecuted for righteous sake, for their kingdom, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven, and I know that's peace in my heart. Blessed are those when men shall revile and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven, and for you persecuted the prophets which were before you. Man, that is like a tongue twister right there.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
You know, before I started believing in God, I mean, I always grew up with like a God, the Catholicism God. I call it the aerobics class on Sundays. You know, from standing up, sitting down, on your knees, standing up, sitting down, going down the hall, to eat the wafer, don't get it wet. You know, today I have such a different perspective of my relationship with my God. I'm so proud to have a relationship with God. And there was a time when I would talk about God with one certain crowd, but then when I'd get around another crowd, we wouldn't talk about it. And I was like pretty fucking two-faced because I wasn't settled in to saying, yeah, I'm going to stand up for what I believe in, because I didn't have enough self-worth or self-esteem or even that solidified of what I believe matters, because I was still searching for so many other people, places, and things approval that I wasn't going to believe in something I don't see. You know, I was more waiting for you to give me accolades that are just like, yeah, you're great. Yeah, I believe in that too. Right on. Yeah. You know, and I'm going through such a huge, huge spiritual shift right now. My personal spiritual shift, where I am, like, I will stand behind believing in God. Like, I want that peace so bad. And I know it doesn't come from out here. It comes from really my thoughts, you know? I mean, I had some things happen today. Like, I went on a trip and I couldn't find my passport, you know, after the trip. And it's like, my mind goes racing. I got to call the and I'm like A to B. Call the passport, you know, cancel it. How am I going to get the DMV? I'm going to go to Thousand Oaks and I'm going to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning. And this went like in a matter of seconds. And it was all about, God, please, just calm me down. Please, God, I want you, please, right here in my heart, calm me down. And then I got on the phone and started talking to somebody I sponsor, And instead of talking about the problem, I started talking about God was soothing me. And God was going to take care of everything. And my most important thing in life is to feel the connection to God. And he talks about this over and over and over, that it's not outside you, that heaven is in your heart. And I really am so hungry for the heaven in my heart all day long.
Hell yeah.
Because none of this shit fucking matters. It really doesn't matter. Because it's going to change in 5 minutes. And I'm so hungry to have that security and that safety that comes with prayer. That knowing that God's got me, God's got this, regardless of what happens on the outside, I want to stay safe on the inside in that secret place. My heaven right in here. And I didn't understand that for so long, you know, and maybe it's you know, I'm a long time sober, and it's also, I'm not going to say that's it. It's, I have to keep breaking my ego down, surrendering and surrendering and surrendering to win the gifts, which is, yeah, it's going to be okay. God's got me. God's got me. Regardless of what happened, you know, I want to be rich in my heart. That's the most important thing for me right now. And it's such a soothing feeling when you sit in that moment where you just like, you know, when you sit and watch a sunset, it's not about the sunset, it's the feeling of being at peace inside. And it's not because anything I created, you know, and be proud to believe in God, and be proud to say, hell, I fucking surrender, man. I'm winning. I'm on the winning team because I put the sword down. I mean, that is like, and not be embarrassed to say, fuck yeah, I believe in God, and you don't? It used to be, yeah, I believe in God. You know, now it's like, and you don't? What the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I mean? It's just a different change. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, that's all I have to share.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hillary.
Thanks, Hillary.
Anybody else want to share on that? Or read it again? Sometimes it's a lot.
Well, can I
Or
just...
both. You can, yeah, go.
Are you sharing?
Well, yeah, I just want to kind of like clarify that I'm not like a religious person, and I think that when we talk about God, it's sort of just like, for me, it's like it's the most important thing for me is that it's not me. Mm-hmm. Like, so, because there's something happens when I like ask for help, you know, like from people, but then also most importantly from like this idea of this like omnipotent like thing that's bigger than me, and I just call that God because it's easy. But I just want to make sure everyone understands that like we're not like, you know, it seems kind of weird that we're like reading like all this like Jesus shit, and it's like we're not like some like,
dude, really?
Well,
that's
I know
what he's talking about.
It's just really cool stuff that helps me with my life, and I just don't want anyone. I
That's
just don't.
what it's telling you not to do. Is like, don't worry, man. It's not this Jesus.
Yeah, it's like we're just trying to figure out, and like I don't know. Next month we might be reading some Buddhist stuff. Like it's just all different things that can help us. Like these are principles that are like thousands and thousands of years old. Like I think a lot of this stuff was even written before Jesus showed up. So it's just stuff for us to remember that can help us.
I love you. You're awesome.
Yeah. Well, because there's like, you know, we have a lot of people, and I know for me, like when I first came to these kinds of meetings, I heard Jesus, I heard God a lot, and this is actually a meeting that's open for sober. Some of us happen to share the same path of like sobriety and recovery, but there's also people here that don't need to be sober, and that's cool too, as long as we're all wanting to have a better life and to be more happy,
But some of us are also Jesus believers.
Which is fine.
Just letting you know.
I'm just saying that like
don't make
that's not a requirement.
You don't need the crosstalk, which is about are you sharing that?
Yeah, I am. I am.
Alright.
So yeah, I think what they're saying is to kind of bring it back to what I'm saying is like we're gonna be persecuted for going for this thing, because there are gonna be people. I don't know if they give a specific reason why that's gonna happen, but I guess what I'm doing is I'm foreseeing that judgment and persecution from people that may be watching this online or people that are here, and I'm just letting it be known that it doesn't matter what your beliefs are. These are just principles that help us navigate through life and our ego and our emotions that can kind of sometimes overtake us, you know.
Billy Alcoholic. Are you
Billy.
there?
Billy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pat. So I'm just going to try to translate really fast what Pat's saying is you don't have to be religious, and if the word Jesus or religion makes you vomit like I used to, just stay, because it's not about that. It's about principle. And if anyone has a question, you can also pose a question to the group. You know, if something's confusing. That's it. Next.
I got something, Paul.
Paul.
Hey, Paul.
He pulled out that. I missed this last week. He pulled out that knife early here. Because this is about building a new character. I'm going to keep saying that. And he calls this a startling statement. Because we continue to be new to this, and the ego comes back, and we might not even be in it at all times. He says, the will of God for us is harmony, peace, and joy, and that these things are to be attained by cultivating right thoughts or righteousness. He says this is a very startling statement. Like she was saying, I'm sure she has a lot of time, and even losing her passport, she loses her shit. You forget what right thinking is in that moment. So it's like we got to keep being reminded to shift into that right, cultivating that right thinking, because we're staying hungry and thirsty for this knowledge and the God consciousness, you know. So he kind of reminds you at the beginning. This is a startling statement, even though we know we're supposed to be on the right path, because we lose our shit at the drop of a coffee, you know. So that's all I got for that one.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Anyone else?
Corey.
I just want to point out something that I saw in here. It seems to be kind of interesting. He's talking about that again and again, that Jesus tells us that all these promises that we have from righteousness and right thinking and being peacemakers, right?
Can you speak up just a bit? I'm way over here.
Yeah, sorry. It says there's all these promises like prosperity and inheriting the earth, and your mourning will be turned into joy. And then this beatitude in particular seems to be like contradictory to a lot of that.
Yeah.
And then it says that persecution is something that you're promised as well, and that it's a blessing actually.
Wow.
Like a lot of my life, I'd like ask to be taken out of persecution or to have it taken away from me. But this is saying that it's a blessing actually, and not to even avoid it, but to pursue it and to actually accept it, like it's a blessing to have persecution.
Yep. Amen to that.
And it also says that you're not alone if you do, and that you join all these people, the prophets and the great illumined ones, when you do accept it. You're joining them in that. So obviously, Jesus had a purpose in being persecuted, and he accepted it as well. So you're joining him.
Absolutely.
So you're receiving something out of his same purpose when you do accept that. I think that kind of stood out to me, that paragraph.
Thank you for sharing that. That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's one thing I forgot to say, I'm sorry, is that we can, if we're putting it back on ourselves, we can actually persecute ourselves. We can beat ourselves up over this shit. Persecute ourselves.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Roy.
Hi, Roy, alcoholic.
Roy.
Thanks for inviting me to your meeting.
Thanks for coming, bro.
Yeah, that jumped out to me as well, Paul, when we were reading that, when it said, this can be a startling statement. This is a very startling statement, because I've been sober 5 years, and I'm coming up on my 6th year, hopefully in October. And this is something that I was taught from the beginning through a man that helped me out when I was in a lot of dark places. And we talked a lot about Jesus. So we talked a lot about the word of Christ. And yeah, I'm not like religious or anything. I just believe that for me the words of Christ are words of truth, and I don't want to be a denier of truth. So I love how it says, the teachings of Jesus, that the will of God for us is in harmony of peace and joy, and that these things are to be obtained. It doesn't say harmony, peace, and happiness. There's a difference between happiness and joy. And it was something that I had to understand, that those are two distinct things. Because being an alcoholic of 5 years, I'm a pleasure seeker. I'm selfish and self-absorbed to my core. I know that. And you know, I can even be narcissistic at times, where it's always about me. And relating to what Pat said about knowing that I'm not God is a good start for me. And then being able to turn my life over to God is a totally different place. And what I learned, why I started to understand the difference between happiness and joy, is because what I learned from joy is not the absence of pain. So in order for me to actually feel joy, I have to be willing to feel pain. And then that pain is where I have a choice now to either be God or not be God. So I could turn that pain over to God and then start to experience harmony with that peace, harmony with that, and then find peace. See, if I'm God, then I'm just pleasure seeking, looking for happiness, and then complaining why I don't have peace, and then expecting everyone else to change so then I can remain the king baby. and then it's just like in the big book, you're the director, and it always goes off without a hitch. Watch that. But generally, that's essentially why it is a startling statement for me, is because it's extremely difficult to truly embrace joy, because I know that it's not the absence of pain. So to enjoy that, to embrace that joy, I might have to start to look at some pain that I definitely don't want to uncover, and that is startling. So,
thanks, Roy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roy.
Talk to him.
Thanks, Roy.
Steve.
Should we do that?
Anybody else?
Wait, where are we?
We can move on. It starts to explain a lot of the things we brought up.
So we just read the first paragraph after the Beatitude.
Correct.
But just real quick, again, this guy Emmett Fox, he's translating what's in the Bible. These Beatitudes are in the Bible, but all this other shit he's writing is like, basically he's trying to explain it to us, because it's hard to understand as it's written.
Yes, sir. We have 5 share limits, so don't use up all your shares.
Yeah, plus we're just kind of still figuring this meeting out and how it's going to work.
Figured out.
Still figuring
We've been doing this for a
We
while.
just went hard on the first couple of sentences. The whole paragraph.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
Are we done sharing on this? Are we moving on? Is that the agreement here? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Danny.
Okay. Danielle, alcoholic.
Danielle.
What page? We're on 44. At all
42.
this. No, we're not.
44. Oh, yeah.
Come on, Keith.
All right, no shaming.
Okay, sorry. All right. All this is indeed very startling, and it is perfectly correct. Only we have to understand that the source of all this persecution is none other than ourselves. Oh, other than our own selves. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, good job, buddy. All right.
He's read this before.
Yeah. No outside persecutor, but only our own lower selves.
When we find righteousness or right thinking very difficult, when we are very strongly tempted to hold the wrong thoughts about some situation or some person or about ourselves, to give way to fear or anger or despondency, then we are being persecuted for righteousness' sake. And this is for us an extremely fortunate or blessed condition, for it is in such moments that we are really advancing. Every spiritual treatment or scientific prayer involves a tussle with our own lower self, which wishes to indulge the old habit of thought, and in fact persecutes and reviles us, if we like to put the thing dramatically in the Oriental way. All the great prophets and enlightened ones of the race who ultimately overcame did so by just such struggles with themselves, when they were being persecuted by their own lower natures, or the old Adam. Jesus himself, who was tempted in all respects like as we are, had to meet this persecution more than once, especially in the Garden of Gethsemane? Wait, what is it? Gethsemane. And for a few moments on the cross itself. Now, since these combats with the lower self have to be fought out sooner or later, then the sooner they are over and done with, the better. And so, relatively speaking, they are great blessings. Cool. Anyone want to share on that?
You first.
I need to process this. Yeah, it's a lot. So if anyone wants to share before me.
Hi, my name's Hillary. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Hillary.
Hi, Hillary.
This reminds me of having a character defect. It's like I don't know I have a character defect until it comes up. It's like I think I'm riding straight and everything's good, and all of a sudden I have this. I become my old self. My old character kicks in when they talk about that lower. That lower self that they're talking about here, the lower nature. I don't even know I have one, but when I have one, that's, I can either look at it as, oh, it's back again. I'm never going to get better. I'm never going to change. I hate myself. Go into that self-deprecating conversations I have with myself. I'm just going to talk about myself. Or I could just be rejoicing it and go, right on, here it is, now I can go to God with this, because I don't even know I have a character defect until I start practicing it. And if I can make a conscious choice of going, this is good, it's like looking at my difficulties as opportunities to grow, as opportunities to be a better Hillary. And I know that every time that I turn that around and just go, I can get through this. I just got to go to God with this. I can change, or I can move through it. I can change my character with the help of God. That's my treatment of it. But I know I can really just get into that persecution of self-righteous sake. Oh my God, I can just beat myself up. I did it again. Here I am, I'm acting out again. I had something happen, I'll just use it personal. I had something happen yesterday where I had a reaction to a conversation, and I'm in this place where I'm like asking God to help me be a noble character. And what a noble character means to me is graceful, kind, loving, giving. And I had a conversation where someone had said something to me, and I immediately went into my old character of, well, alpha, I'm going to chew your head up. Don't you know? Don't fucking treat me like, and it was just in a second. I mean, it's like, whoa, she's back, Helga's back, and because I'm on a daily basis really making an effort to practice a new character. It was immediately, God, please help me be that woman that you want me to be. Like when I go to the source and I ask God to just stop beating myself up, because when I beat myself, it's like I'm putting kerosene on a fire, and it gets worse. And then I keep acting out. and then I have like a massive forest fire and I don't even know how to put it out. And it's in those moments that I get to feel the pain of going back to my lower character. It says this it's basically the lower nature, but I call it my old character. And I really, really want to be a new character. And I can't change for the rest of I can only do it in the moment I'm in. And if I don't have a conscious contact with a God throughout the day, all bets are off. Like if I don't wake up with God, all bets are off. I'm in Hillaryville. And Hillaryville can be a shit show. It can be a shit show in here, and I project it, and I make everyone's life absolutely miserable until my tornado slows down, and then I'm like, it's cool, I'm back with God. Why are you all pissed off at me? You guys should be happy. It's like this whole illusion, this grandiose, self-centered fear, infantile ego where I've stopped making a shit show, but the key is for me to try in the moment throughout the day to say, God, be with me. Just can you go with me to the store? Can you help me have a conversation with my husband without decapitating him? Because I'm not getting what I want. Can you help me be the woman that you want me to be? Graceful, kind, loving. And then when I get into that, it's like a high. You're like, yeah, this shit's good. But my old character kicks in. That's why I got to have a relationship with God. And that's why I got to read this on a daily basis, or be close to people that remind me to go to God. I don't want to hang out with the swines. I want to hang out with, I want to be brought with the other people that are the prophets, who are at least working towards the prophets. That's why I go to meetings. That's why I call a sponsor. That's why I call people that I respect. So, anyway.
Thanks, Larry.
Hi, I'm DDA.
DDA.
What's your name?
Roy.
Roy.
Nice to meet you.
So Roy said something that really hit me was you can't just take the joy, not the pain. And it reminded me of this Ram Dass quote, and it said, "True freedom is pushing nothing away." And the sickest thing about that is, it kind of, when I remember that stuff, which is some days are good, some days are bad, but on those days when I remember that, it kind of brings a lightness to everything. Life's not supposed to be so dark. And we get so in our brains and our egos and pain, suffering, instead of pain and suffering. Because we can't just take the things that our ego that thinks is God's gifts as the happy moments and then shun God for the things that we think are the worst moments, when all the moments that we have are God's moments. So wouldn't all those moments be godly and love? And I think when we just remember that, and remember that the suffering is also as beautiful, and when we get caught up in our old character, that's that's God being hey, that's that thing we still have to work for. Not fuck, why is this coming up? And then we get into the shame. It's just hey, this is part of it too. And it's a beautiful thing to almost, it sounds hard, but to embrace the suffering, embrace all of it. Me and Billy talk about this all the time. It's better said than done, but if we just remember that all the good things that we think our ego thinks are the good things, and remember God gives us all things, then no matter what we go through, this beautiful thing. And that's just struck me when you were speaking about that.
Really alcoholic.
Thanks, DDA.
Thanks, CDA.
Thanks, DDA.
I also really like what you said, Roy.
Yeah.
And me and DDA were just maybe a week ago or something, he was telling me about that, and it's so true. There's no separation of pain. I think maybe suffering is avoidable, because that's kind of ruminating on your pain. But like me, I mention this all the time. I do have this injury, and I pretty much can focus on it any time of the day and be in pain. But I'm also, it's there when I'm in joy and having a good time too. And so it just really was interesting what you said. I'm really gonna have to mill that over for a while. And I'm wondering who it was you were talking to. I'm thinking Ron, but I don't know. But
yeah, a guy from Canada.
oh, someone I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
who no holds bar, and let's talk with him. So I kind of kicked that heat down from him, just pointing out my selfishness and self-centeredness.
Yeah,
That's
and
where it came from.
So and the thing here, which is so cool, is like I was telling Pat earlier today, because he was tripping on something, that it's always us.
Mm-hmm.
We're persecuting ourselves. We're talking shit to ourselves. We're bringing ourselves down. It's like there's no outside person, place, or thing doing it. And so that's also good news, because we can do something about that, right? Can't really do much about other people or other things or circumstances. Like, I was in a major accident and I'm kind of fucked, right? What am I going to do? Be miserable for the rest of my life, or accept it and feel joy and live life, right? And like Hillary said, I just get into this in the morning. I'll read a little bit and I'll meditate for a little bit, and it really helps. That's it.
Thanks, Billy.
Thanks, Billy.
Thank you, Billy.
Yeah, he kind of reiterated what I said in the first paragraph. I kind of jumped ahead with that share, where he puts it right back on me. He says, this was from last week too, though. Only we have to understand that the source of all this persecution is none other than our own self. No outside persecutor, but only our own lower self. When we find righteousness or right thinking very difficult, when we are very strongly tempted to hold the wrong thoughts about some situation or some person or about ourselves, to give way to fear or anger or despondency, then we are being persecuted. We are, like I said last week, we're affirming that. No one can affirm that but me to myself. But I like the way he smooths it out. He knows the eagle's going to crop back up.
Yeah.
So he kind of puts a Band-Aid on it, and he tells you here, every spiritual treatment or scientific prayer involves a tussle with the lower self, which wishes to indulge the old habit, which he was talking about, of thought, and in fact persecutes and reviles us. So he knows we're going to go back into old self. And actually, somewhere in this book, he says you have to kill the old Adam. Kill the old Adam, the old self, that old thought life. And that's pretty much what this whole thing's about, is just gaining the God consciousness. But I'm sure he knows that shit keeps coming back. We have to be reminded of this. Because we have egos and we want to be right. And the self will tell you you're right until you finally give in. Sometimes you got to be beaten into submission to finally give in. And that's the tussle. So, keep fighting, I guess, Get it one day. Thanks.
Actually, that's exactly the line I wanted to read and discuss, but you're just...
Go ahead, man.
No. It's all good. I'm good. I'll share it next time.
I wasted one of my shares.
I'll share, and I don't know, maybe you or Jack or anybody could jump in and kind of help me on this one. It says, when we find righteousness or right thinking very difficult, when we are strongly tempted to hold the wrong thoughts about some situation or some person or ourselves, to give way to fear, anger, or despondency, then we are being persecuted for righteousness' sake. For me, I do this all the time, and I have these thoughts that lead me to fear or anger, and I hold on to them until I'm proven wrong. You know what I mean? I don't want to be right about them. I don't know, these thoughts I have, it's the worst case scenario, and I want to be proven wrong, not righteous. So I don't know if that's a self-sabotage thing or a tussle or with myself, but if anybody has any light on that, Jack, maybe you haven't heard from me.
Can you give us an example?
Yeah, what
Yeah,
what's
like,
the, what's the line in your head?
Fuck, I don't know, like, something I've been thinking about recently, like we're trying to open up a sober living, and I mean, Pat and I have been, like, squabbing a little bit. I mean, in my head, I'm just like, oh, he's fucking over it. He doesn't like me. He doesn't want to do this. He doesn't even care. And it's like, what? Like, you know, like, so I guess I like negative affirmation.
Well, that's just you worrying.
No, yeah, but that's
Assuming.
what it says. Like, I don't necessarily, like, have these thoughts to be right. I have them to be wrong.
I hear what you're saying.
I do the same thing myself.
You know?
I think we all do it. Like I do it. I did it last week.
You want to do Jack and then a Roy?
Yeah, let's do that.
Who's sharing? Jeff? Okay. I'd love to
like,
respond
I
to
mean,
that.
And
I
then
guess
this
he's
will
part
just
of my
get out
share.
of my face.
Yeah, I just want.
I can take my own share too. Yeah.
Does that work?
Can you share shares?
Yeah. I'm gonna share a little.
I'll lose a share.
Well, no, because he had a question.
Whatever,
Yeah, it's a question, so it's like within.
Keep it to 5,
Yeah.
6 might be okay. So we just don't want to have law hogs. That's
Yeah.
all. We want
Well,
everyone to have an opportunity.
I think it's dope that Gus brought it up because I guarantee every single person in this room has negative thoughts. Like that's, you know, like I think even if you're an alcoholic, it's like there's some sort of negative self-image or thinking.
Even if you're not an
Even if
alcoholic.
I'm not an alcoholic, and I battled that all last, like when I came to the meeting last week, I mentioned to Danielle, I was like, yeah, I came in a lot of pain, and like I need this meeting because it was a chance for me to just, you know, I don't really understand how it works, but just being here and like being raw, really like can like release some of that pain. And this week I'm coming and I'm like, I feel full of life. I just feel epic. But I think, Gus, what you're talking about is that's exactly what he's saying. It's like you're actually persecuting yourself. So like you are not responsible for Pat's actions. You are responsible for your reaction and how you interpret it. And you know, I think like for me, you know, if that situation happens, which it does all the time, I was in pain last week because I'm going through a conflict with another friend. I don't think y'all met, and it's like, so what? I can't control what she thinks about me, and I'm in pain that she's thinking negative about me. But the reality is, it's like, what is my own self view, you know, in that moment that I can healthily grieve that I'm losing out on a relationship. That's fine. But if I take that to mean something about myself, then I actually have a low self-view. So I don't think anyone here is trying to hide that we all want bigger self-views. I know there's the narcissism thing, but there's also like there's like this push and pull. It's like narcissist or like, you know, really like low view of ourselves. I think all of us are like working on getting just like that sweet spot of like loving yourself, loving who you are, giving yourself grace when you make mistakes. For me, I know that comes from my relationship with my dad. And so that's something I've been working through in healing, is because I'm realizing, oh, when I have a negative self-view, it's because I had that when I was a kid. And so I've just been slowly, you know, like affirming myself and raising that. And it has to be independent of people's thoughts. Otherwise, you're in torture. Otherwise, you persecute yourself your whole life.
And like 99% of the time, I'm wrong about those thoughts. You know?
No, it's the worst, because you end up self-sabotaging because you like there's something in you that says, my whole life, like someone has said this or I've agreed with it, and so it's just got to be true, instead of saying, my whole life I've always believed I'm awesome and people love me. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I quote the 12 and 12 here?
Yeah.
Please.
Because it's right on topic. It has to do with self-pity and, like you said, self-sabotage. This is page, step 4, page 45. It says, if temperamentally we are on the depressive side, we are apt to be swamped with guilt and self-loathing. We wallow in this messy bog, often getting a mishappen and painful pleasure out of it. As we morbidly pursue this melancholy activity, we may sink into such a point of despair that nothing but oblivion looks possible as a solution. Self-sabotage. The ego just taking you down. And that's when it's really time to do some inventory work and look at yourself and look at your side of it and find out what it needs to take to get out of that situation and get the right thought, you know. It could become oblivion. So far you pull yourself so far down that it's hard to even get to a positive level. That's how we depressives are. I won't even bring the alcoholism in. Or egotistical people, you know. It's a hardcore. It's the tussle again, man.
I want to try to explain something if I can. I don't know if it's a little scrambled in my head. Billy alcoholic.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm done. You good.
So this thinking. Okay, this whole book is about right thinking. Right thinking will change. Inner thinking that's right will change your outer world. You'll get money. You'll get I mean, it's not. You don't do it for that reason. The reason you do it is to have peace and enjoy your life. But it just happens so that when you think a certain way, you have dominion over your life, and good things happen. And here's where it gets a little trippy and weird, is because it's not about control. It's not about good or bad. I'm thinking good thoughts or bad thoughts. It's almost like letting go of thoughts, you know, so you can download some open-minded God shit, right? And
good point, yeah.
And so often I'm trying to control everything, whatever it is, even if it's this stuff, I'm trying to control it and do it right. And I found that it's not that at all. It's like, God, free me from the bondage of self, so that I don't have to be controlling and making it happen however I think it should happen, because then I'm stuck in my paradigm of my past, because I don't know anything I haven't already experienced. And I want to experience something new, because that is the good shit. It's the stuff I don't know, and you know, there's infinite that I don't know and very little that I do, and what I do just kind of sucks, you know. And I don't know if it makes a lot of sense, but thank you.
Thanks, Billy. Thanks, Billy.
It sounds like you're saying like.
Raise your hand. We got a rule breaker in that.
Isn't the first act like or the Serenity Prayer, kind of like what you're saying? Sounds like the Serenity Prayer that are like, help me accept the things I cannot change by letting go.
That's it.
And then. Rest of it. Once you accept the things you cannot change, the rest comes. You
and
know.
wisdom to get to know the difference. Yeah, that's it.
And that's the thing. You don't have the power. You do not have the power to change it. You have the choice to let go.
Yeah.
And choose something else, which we call God. A lot of us.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyone?
Roy, I'll add to it. How I relate to what you're saying is the only thing powerful enough to let go, because I hear that a lot in AA, is it says like when you walk into AA, let go and let God, right? At the front of the door. And it's like you're a newcomer. If I'm struggling with any type of addiction, I'm going, what the hell does that line mean? Let go and let God. And love is the only thing strong enough to let go. So it's being able to be love, opposed to tell love what love is, be open to hearing what love is, then I'm able to be love and not try and control love. So I spent a lot of my life trying to tell love what love is. Don't spill coffee. Don't say what I want to say. Or say what I want to say and react, but if I can stay open to hearing, to being a student of love, then I be love. And that's the only thing strong enough to let go. Therefore, I need a God there to provide that. So for me, I call that thinking, and what I think Paul just nailed was that self-pity, right? Like he took it right to the 12 and 12, and that line sums it all up, right? Because what I want to do is use my get out of jail free card. That's what I call it. And I believe everyone has one. So self-pity for me is my get out of jail free card. Oh, I'm in special ed. Oh, I'm not smart enough, so I can act stupid. oh, I can say this rude thing because I'm funny. Like, I can do whatever because I have a get out of jail free card. But once I start to listen to love, no more excuses exist, because love is the only thing strong enough to handle me not having excuses, hence not having a get out of jail free card, hence not having self-pity to rely on to be able to start feeling better, because I get, like I said, I start to get a high off that self-pity. Self-pity gives me a high because I'm no longer drinking. But if I am drinking, I get more of a buzz, because if it doesn't work out, I have now even a bigger excuse. So self-pity is really at the root of my drinking. And my get out of jail free card is that. So at any point I can use a get out of jail card. So I simplified it for myself, and I said I'm not using my get out of jail free card. But I had to understand what my get out of jail free card was. Then that's the process of healing. Because I have to remember, I'm a child of God. I'm a child of God, so what does that mean? I'm not God, so what does that mean? It means I'm not perfect. So I'm going to make mistakes every single day. I'm going to grab the hammer and bang it over my head. So I'm a child of God. I'm imperfect. Know this. Know this. So now that I know this, it doesn't mean that I get to go, oh, well, I'm a child of God, I'm perfect, you're an asshole. No, it's reining that in, right? Like, now that I'm sober, I'm not here I always look at the world now as that I'm a douchebag, asshole, drunk, who will steal and help you look for what I stole from you. However, I'm not here to be that person anymore. I'm here to do everything with my power aligned with God, not to be that guy anymore. On every single moment of my life, and love is the only thing that is going to provide that. So I have to be love and stop trying to tell love what it is. But self-pity is always going to reckon that. Always.
So what was the get out of jail free card?
Whatever your get out of jail free card is.
You have your own.
I have my own. I got plenty. Fuck, you kidding me?
What was one of them again?
Well, self-pity is going to provide an endless amount of get out of jail free cards.
Well, I'm an alcoholic.
Oh, I'm
flawed,
I'm flawed. I'm a child of God.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
I'm an artist. Oh, fuck, I didn't brush my teeth today, and I'm breathing all over my employees. You know what I mean? Like, it's whatever the fuck I want it to be.
Right.
But it's like, you talking about someone, I can only share my own experience. Like, fuck, dude, I have a stack of get out of jail free cards, like, right here, right now, available to just whip out, like, super fast, just load up the room with them. But, like, that's fucking pretty weak.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey man, I'm not perfect, although I'm not making excuses anymore. That 12 and 12 that Paul just, he caught that quick, and he read it out, that's fucking all I need to know right now.
Acceptance is the great first step. Then you could turn it over to God. You gotta accept it first. Or if not, your ego's gonna fight. And you'll be right there.
Well, dang howdy.
Alright, we got a question.
Take question.
Alright, we're gonna pause.
Got a question.
Wait, who had their hand? Oh.
I got a question. Somebody, because just from what Roy was saying, somebody's asking, like, how is God love? Like, someone that doesn't believe in God, necessarily not understanding God.
Well, I'm not saying God is love.
Okay, so okay.
So I'm saying to be love. Stop trying to dictate what love is, and start to listen to what love is telling you.
So what would you say to somebody that doesn't believe in God right now?
I don't know, do you believe, I mean, it just depends on how fucking...
Choose your own conception.
Yeah, exactly, choose your own, like, how beat down are you? You know, like, I could say, like, I don't know, that ant's moving, did you do that?
Can I add something?
Hold on, so we got Jack. We got
a question.
DDA.
But I don't have all the answers. That's how I know there's a God. I'm not trying to claim I know the answers. I'm definitely not trying to tell a person who God is and what they think of God should be or anything. I'm not saying that. Definitely not.
Let me say that real quick. In AA, you choose your own God. So we don't know what God is. So just choose something. You know, Spirit of the Universe works for me pretty good. I mean, that's all encompassing. There's something doing something to make everything work the way it works.
Another power
Something.
other than me.
Other than me. That's how I look at it. Fuck, I'll take that microphone right now if I'm desperate enough. That thing will catch the
truth.
truth.
They don't even call it God, they call it higher power. So you can even take this group and make it your higher power.
Right? Yeah, I said that. That was the first thing I said.
Are they listening to our question?
Yeah, cool. All right, Jack.
Jack, Adult Childhood Alcoholics. So, Actually, the question is relevant to my share, which was I'm getting a little rocked by what Roy and Billy said. So, like, I think just specifically for the person, no one's here to say, like, you have, like, love is the highest thing. God is love. But when I'm hearing you guys talk and I'm realizing, okay, so this battle of me persecuting myself based on my own interpretation of what's going on in my life, or I can do that and I can sit in self-pity, or I can sit in victim, or I can move over to just, like, back to, like, Gus's example. Like, I think that what we talked about last week too is, like, you have a choice. You don't have to sit in the mental circuit. And I think for me, like, I hate when I get caught up in the mental circuit, and when I finally realize I can let go, I can surrender, and then I can become love, to, like, Roy's point. For me, that's, this is answering that person's question. For me, becoming love is the only thing that makes me feel free. So I'm not trying to tell this person who God is. I'm just saying you should try becoming love
First.
Because it feels pretty epic. Because, like, in Gus's example, it's like you get out of the argument and you literally go, what's good for Pat? Like, how can I love him and be of service? Or what's good for this team? And it's almost like when you let go of just the defeating of self, it was almost like, even though you're putting yourself down, it's almost like narcissistic. You're elevating yourself as the primary part of this discussion, as opposed to saying, how do I just be love and be confident in that? And for me, I've had to really learn to just be confident in that. And I'm still, I think that's my battle is, can I let go when I'm feeling put down and just choose the surrender to bring acceptance, to take the hit, and then say, how can I love? And when I do that, I feel this sense of, like, union with God. And that gets me really high, because I feel like the universe, the God of the universe and I are, like, soaring arm in arm, because we're just going around loving people, and I feel this connection. So
I'd just like to add to your point, because you're mentioning me, like, that for me, that's what's helped, right? And these thoughts aren't all the time, but I guess letting go and just praying on it and doing, like, a third step is usually when the result kind of turns in my favor.
Yeah.
Not saying it's, like, my favor, I'm just saying, like, what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's usually, like, a sign or an event of love, or, freedom, or not being angry, or whatever it is.
Yeah. It's like that. The step 3 thing, to me, is related, because if you surrender everything over to the higher power, it's like I've fucked it up so many times that it's almost easier for me to say, I'm just going to trust in something else. And when I do that, it, like, I don't know, releases me, so I don't have to harp on stuff, and I can just choose love if I so choose it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Socrates said, if you can do one thing in life, if you can do one thing and not lie, that's a start. So start with not lying, and then see what happens. So, like, all my problems come from with the deep-seated lie that I tell myself. I had to go on a very way back journey to find those and put it together. However, like he said, if you can start with, like, we're still talking about Socrates to this day. Why? He said he did a very famous thing. I'm going to stop lying. So you have to stop lying to yourself. Therefore, I won't lie to other people. If I'm lying to other people, I'm still lying to myself. It's not anyone else's problem when I lie to you. It's my problem, because I'm still lying to me. So if I can stop lying, that's a start. And then from there, I could go, now what does it look like if I tell the truth?
Yeah.
So now I'm going to need love and a self on board. Right? And then now if I'm able to tell the truth, am I able to help someone else? That's even a bigger calling. That's why we go into the 12th step of helping someone else. It's like a huge calling there. There's a whole thing. But I first have to stop lying. And that's to stop lying to me. But I had to figure out what my lie was. Selfish and self-centered that we think is the root of our problem. It's right there in the big book. So
Are we still on that question?
Yeah, I don't even know.
No. Well, DDA wanted to share.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then you can share, Billy, and then I need to just drop some. I got a big
spiritual bombs.
I don't need to share. You guys go.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Lord.
Go ahead. It's all you.
Jack hit it well. It's just two things. Like, what's really been helping me with the righteous thing is Jesus was getting nailed to a cross, and still had unconditional love, saying, "Forgive them, for they not know what they do." So who the fuck am I to say I'm right in any situation that someone my ego thinks did me wrong, when this guy was nailed to a cross and showed unconditional love for the dude with the hammer? Right there alone for me just like takes the world of weight off my shoulders, because like being right is just like so tiring. It's just tiring all the time. It's stressful. You want to be right. You're fighting against things you can't control, and it's like you're creating stress in your body. You're getting sick. Or you could be like, don't push anything away, and it's just like, that's so nice. And then like going to the question why it hit me so hard, it's like, if I have this notion of God as an external being, I'll always be detached from God. But if God is an internal inside of me, then I'll always be connected. So to me, love is God, because I'm God's child and God lives inside of me, and love is a portion of God. So it's one and the same for me. And anytime I feel if I'm disconnected from that notion, I'm disconnected from God, and that's my ego trying to find some type of righteousness for me. That's all.
Edging God out.
I have a quick question. So
Ego,
I can
edging God out.
I can watch this meeting later because it's going to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna fucking watch this shit a few times, man. It's a good one.
Last week's was good too, man. I watched the podcast.
Yeah, just so everyone.
It was really good.
All right, who's sharing, Pat?
Okay, so yeah, I'm Pat. I'm an alcoholic. And just everything everyone's saying is just like reinforcing some of the stuff that we went over yesterday. Because I'm just gonna give you guys a specific example of something that happened to me at Fat Mike's house. Okay, I'm filming my fucking hero, where it's no effects. It's like this big deal. It's like, so because I think sometimes getting specific, like with examples that people can relate to, is cool. So I'm an egomaniac with an inferiority complex. That's what I am. Okay, Jesus wasn't that, I don't think. So that's why he was able to like be like, because he didn't have this like inferiority complex, and I don't think he was an egomaniac either. But I am, for whatever reason, I don't know. I'm alcoholic, have trauma in my childhood. My dad never fucking, throwing the ball with me and saying "good job, son" or whatever it was. It doesn't really matter why. I'm like the best or like I'm worse. So I need to find this middle place. So I'm filming them. I switch the lens. I go with the wide angle, and I'm like in there fucking getting all the sick shots like it's a music video, But I'm like I'm in the front. You know what I'm saying? I'm like this far from Fat Mike's face, And Tim's like, duh, that's sick, right? So then, like, later in the night, Fishbone starts performing, and I'm, like, not really filming the whole thing. I'm kind of in and out. But then I decide I'm going to jump in and fucking do this again, right? For Party at Ground Zero. That's, like, the song they wrote. And Fat Mike starts fucking dancing, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm going to get the fire right now. So I'm getting the fire, right? And Tim comes up to me. This fucking guy, he's my partner. He's like... when you're in a relationship with someone, that's where this shit fucking shows up, and that's where we really need to apply this shit, because we can talk about it all day long, but then when your partner, who you've known since middle school, comes up behind you and goes, if you haven't been filming this the whole time, get out of everyone's shots. And I'm like, this motherfucker. It's like loud, I'm like in my moment, I'm doing my thing, and he comes at me like that. And the ego just shows up, and I'm like, I know.
Game on.
No, like, I already know that we can synchronize this later. Like, I know more than you do about how to edit this type of shit. So shut the fuck up. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to tell him this after so I don't listen to him. I'm like, I don't even listen to him. You know what I'm saying? And then later we have a conversation. And he set the whole thing up. He's in charge. Like, he is. Like, we're partners. Like, I could. It's just like this ego wants to. So it's like, would I rather be right or happy? I mean, if I'm right all the time with Veronica, like, she's just gonna just be like, all right already. I'm over this. You know what I mean? So I get to be right all the time, but the people that are wrong when I'm right are like kind of hurt a little bit. So if I get to lose, like learning to lose, if I get to just surrender and back down, then that person, it's almost like they win and then I win. Because like, so what happened was Tim was like afterwards, you know, he was like, listen, like you might know some shit I don't know, but if I ask you to do something, like could you just do it? And I was like, yeah, dude. I mean, like every single atom in my body was like wanting to fight him and explain to him why I did it, right? And I kind of did a little bit, but then I don't know how I did it, because I don't back down, I don't surrender, I don't say, okay, cool, and walk in the house. I don't do that. Like, I don't know how to do that. But I did that. And I was like, I went into the room, and you were in the room, and I was just like, I can't believe I just let him win. You know what I'm saying? But, like, it was the right thing to do, and I suppressed my ego, and I could only do that with the help of God. And, like, the new character, you know, because I know that what I did was, like, the right thing to do, but it doesn't matter. Because he set it all up. He's in charge. And that's why I love, like, these sober livings, like where Derek is at Liberty House. Like, this fool's writing 60,000 words for some shit he did that, like, wasn't even really, like, that wrong. But it's like, shut the fuck up, write the words. Life's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Fuck fair. You know?
Fair's in Pomona.
Nice. What?
Fair's in Pomona.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, fair's in Pomona. So it's like, so, and I'm going through the same shit with like Oleg right now, my roommate. And it's like when we have these relationships, it's just like sometimes like letting go and like, I guess you could say losing the argument and just like I feel like that's part of like what I love about like Joe is like he's definitely very different from Troy. Like me and Troy will fucking fight. Like we don't fucking like me and Troy are like no motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But like I feel like Joe has this kind of mellow, and I want that. You know, and you obviously probably have your own set of stuff. But like yeah, letting go, surrendering, like being okay, cool. Like let me just listen to what you're saying. You know. So that was something that happened in my life that was.
Yeah, let's do the right thing. Let someone else share.
All right, thanks for letting me share. No, but like, thanks for letting me share.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Like that's it.
Thanks, Pat.
Oh no, you know that.
You left the alarm on.
I thought it was the phone.
We got like 20 minutes. We got like 20 minutes left, and so if anyone else wants to share.
Are there any more questions or anything? Any more
Nine.
feedback? Any feedback?
No.
8:46. Comments?
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Maybe the last 20 we try to address.
Q&A.
Yeah, but I also just want to give anyone else here.
Yeah.
I guess we could do like burning desire. There's some people that haven't said anything.
Oh, let's do that.
If anyone wants to just kind of chime in.
Joey, thank you guys so much. This has been fucking amazing. Like this is really, really real. This feels really good.
It's crazy,
awesome.
right?
I want to touch on that. You know, he didn't know, or she, I'm not sure, didn't believe in God or something. I think the first thing that you should try to do is believe in maybe yourself. Because it's all here, kind of like how Didi was saying, it's all one, you know, it's all one thing. And I think kind of getting back on to what we read in the beginning was some of the hardest things in life, like, are the best lessons, and it's hard to see that when you're in the midst of it. You know, it's kind of a fucked up thing. And it's not until you kind of look from afar and learn from it. And it's, everyone's a teacher. Everyone here's a teacher. Your enemies are teachers. Situations are teachers. And it's hard sometimes for you to be your own teacher because it's hard to separate that. You don't almost feel like you can take a lesson from yourself, but that's the biggest person and the most important person you should be taking lessons from yourself. When you can reach back and say, your forest is on fire, you know, and like see that it was on fire, reflect on that, and then kind of almost watch as the rains come, and then the grass grows again, and it's green. You know, something like that. Thank you for letting me share.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
So I think we should have everyone, even if you don't want to share, you can just say your name.
Identify a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, just so everyone gets to talk and say something. That'd be a good way to,
Yeah, my name's Michael.
Michael.
I haven't shared today because my head's a bit of a chatterbox. Right? It's really loud today. And I mean, like we've all been saying, what I've been listening to, it's all because I'm stuck in self. There's something that I'm afraid I'm not going to get, or something's going to be taken away from me. And that's kind of where it starts for me. I'm afraid to lose something, you know? And I loved what you said, because I mean, you described me to a T. I'm an egomaniac with an inferiority complex, right? I'm either better than you, smarter than you, or I'm not just a piece of shit, I'm the biggest fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know? And the worst thing that I can do is try and like fight, like, run away from those kind of self-delusional thoughts that I am a piece of shit, right? I have to, like you said, embrace them. I have to not judge them because I'm not my thoughts. I'm my actions, right? So knowing that I'm a bit of a chatterbox today and I'm just kind of stuck in self, I've got go-to tools to use today, right? So simple things just to stop thinking about me. Like, hey, do you need any help with the water? You know, just any little thing I can grasp on to shut my head up. Like you were saying, Hillary, right? When you were spinning out, when you talked to a sponsee and then everything kind of fell away. You were no longer thinking about yourself, right? And that's just, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about for me. Anytime I'm just not, if my head and my heart aren't in the right place, I can act my way into right thinking, right? And at the same time, not judging my situations, because it's these, even now, you know, we forget, like you were saying, if just talking about it, I relearn it every single time because I forget. Like, why can't I just think myself out of this thing, right? I forgot my point. I was going to lead somewhere and I completely lost it. So it's this moment is uncomfortable, right? It's an uncomfortable moment thinking about myself all the time. I can revel in it too. I almost kind of get high off of it, you know, because the arguments that I have in my head, I'm always fucking winning, right? So that feels good. I can kind of I can run the show. But it really doesn't get me anywhere. So in this uncomfortable moment, I can learn from it. And if I can be aware in the moment and try and look at it objectively, then that's when I can learn from it. If I try and run away from it or hide from it or find something to self-medicate, then I'm just numbing the wound and it's not really healing. And I'm just always trying to go back to that place. So that's why I haven't shared up until now, and thanks for allowing me to do so.
Thanks,
Let's
Michael.
go back to hiding.
Thanks, Michael.
Hi, I'm Devin.
Devin.
I just been actually kind of the same way. Just been in my head today a lot of changes at work, and it's kind of hard to get away from it. So it's going on 7 days a week of work every day, and a lot of changes, and everything that everyone said was really, helped a lot, but I'm still kind of just stuck in there, and it's, good things are happening, possibly promotions, updates on more work, going on 60 days without alcohol on Thursday.
Yeah.
So that's on my mind too. But, you know, everyone's really just sharing was really helpful and stuff. And I just kind of was keeping myself as well today. Just, you know, it's nice to kind of speak. Started living by myself recently, so getting used to that, which is great. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice. At the same time, it can get lonely, you know, and I get stuck in my head. But, you know, yeah, just wanted to share that. Thanks everyone for sharing and, you know, everything you guys do. And, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, thank you.
You're like a really important piece of this meeting, and I hope you can keep coming back. Yeah.
Aw,
You and
love that.
Ryan are probably the most important people here because you guys are newly sober.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So we got Ryan and Mikey, right?
Huh?
You didn't share, did you?
No. Do I need to?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Mikey. I'm an alcoholic.
Mikey.
And I was going to share until I thought I was the most important person here, but I guess those two are.
Oh, yeah.
You have the best hair.
Yeah. It's for all Veronica's fault. Yeah, I just been listening. It's been a great week. No, it's been a good week, and obviously I look forward to this meeting, and it's amazing. I started coming a couple months ago, and just to see all the stuff that's happening with how many people are here, and helping Pat and looking at the live feed where there was 63 people at one point. And like thinking about 63 other chairs in this backyard is mind blowing. So, but like on the reading, like I know we started over like last week. I read the paragraph about lower self, and just with what everyone has shared, like I can totally relate. Hopefully, Roy will sponsor me because what he said was amazing.
You have more time than him.
It doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't.
And
It doesn't matter. That's the
really,
funny
yeah,
part.
it doesn't. I just wanted to make sure you knew I had more time than him. But no, you know,
Actually, yeah.
It's just refreshing hearing everyone share, and like it's like at the very beginning of the meeting, it's like everyone was saying like, or somebody said like, we all feel this way, you know, and like if we all, I don't want to put this on everyone, but I know I feel this way. I feel like I'm gonna lose something. I feel like I deserve something more or better or whatever my sick lower self and my ego tells myself. But at the end of the day, like I got here and got a phone call and the person I was talking to was like, oh, I know you're at Pat's, but you know, why don't you call me back when you have a minute? You're gonna want to hear this. And I'm like, fucking tell me right now. And it literally, and I reacted because it was, I'm not saying I'm being persecuted for righteousness' sake, but somebody called me out on my character. That is, and immediately called myself and somebody out on my character and their character, and it was like, well, yeah, that's what fucking insecure people who are threatened by somebody do. And I know that because I used to be that person. So I had to take a step back and be like, okay, if my side of the street is clean, which it's not clean all the time, I have to make sure it is. So I made a phone call, not out of anger or not even out of fear, but I called this person and I said, what now? Like what now? And it was totally a miscommunication back, but my brain just goes to a place that it's like I have to be the best at everything, or a big fucking piece of shit, and I want to ruin everything. Not anyone else's life, because I don't know if I have the capacity. Hello? I do not want Gus to fucking tell me to stop sharing, so should I wrap it up?
You have 2 minutes.
Oh, perfect. I only have the capacity.
That was 5, but that's all right.
It's 5.
You're out of
Yeah,
time,
Alright,
bro.
thanks for letting me share.
No, continue.
The capacity.
You want to finish?
I only have the capacity, like I can only ruin my own life.
That's it.
I think that I can fuck this person over, or fuck that person over, where it's like if I think that way, I'm already fucked. I am already taking a step back and I might as well fucking, because I'm living a certain way that I used to live. So it's a struggle on a daily basis unless I do something to better myself. And I've been trying to do that for a long time, and I haven't always done it perfectly, but I'm just grateful for what I have in my life, and I have to remember what I have in my life, and this is a big part of it, is everyone here, and everyone listening, and everyone who's trying to just, I don't want to say be a better person, but that's what I said last week, and it didn't go over very well, but I just want to do the next right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to do that, and I think with you guys it's possible. Roy, will you sponsor me?
I
I'm
want to
done.
stop fucking up.
You said best version of yourself last week.
Yeah, I corrected myself when I said I wanted to be a better person, but I just want to do the next right thing, and that's how I'm going to be the best version of myself.
There you go.
All right. Thanks, Billy.
Thanks, Mikey.
I think we have one more, right?
Okay, I'll share.
That's nine.
Ryan, listening
Ryan.
to everybody today is actually just kind of mind-blowing, just because I've had a rough couple weeks, and it's really been fighting my ego, and I've been just talking down to myself, and then like the question, you know, if you don't believe in a God, you know, I just asked the question, just, can you just help me through this right now? Just, I don't give a shit who it is, if it's my dad, my uncle, just somebody come fucking help me right now, because I'm about to lose my shit, and I'm about to go back to my old self. And my old self is scary. So just listen to everybody's take on everything today, and, you know, lying, and, you know, you're still lying to yourself, and, you know, and my wife and I have kind of had a little problem lately, and, you know, just telling each other the truth is just kind of relieving. And, you know, I was afraid to tell her the truth, and she was afraid to tell me the truth with some, you know, and it's just stupid shit. But because we were afraid that we were going to get mad at each other or attack each other, you know, why the fuck would you go there? Why would you do that? You know, I don't like, you know, so just being truthful and just praying to somebody, you know, and just not letting your ego get the best of you it's hard work, but it's relieving when you can get over that little speed bump. I mean, and all it is just a little speed bump. You just got to get through it. It might take 10 minutes, might take 2 hours, but that little fight is so rewarding at the end of it, because you just... So that's what I've been kind of doing the past couple of weeks, just trying to fight and relieve myself and tell myself the truth, that it's going to be a long fight, but it's going to be okay at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, honey.
Thanks for sharing.
I don't know. Is Troy part of the meeting or not part of the meeting?
Troy, you want to drop a gem?
I can't wait.
So what? I'm excusing you if you want to drop a gem.
I don't have any gems. My name's Troy. I'm an alcoholic. I'm
There you go.
For all you guys here.
Wow.
Hi, Troy.
That's actually a
Hey,
gem.
Troy.
Okay, I have some announcements before we close. There is recycle and trash cans over there. Please, like I said again, help us clean up, fix up, put things back the way they were. If you don't know what to do, ask me or Pat. Thanks for a great meeting, everybody. That's great. And I'm going to listen to it on YouTube later.
When you're done, Danielle wants to
Go
address
for it.
one
Address
of the people.
something.
I do.
Well, if there's anyone who.
I'm looking. I don't.
Well, just thanks everyone for
Yeah.
watching, and
Okay, after a
Nobody else.
moment of silent meditation for the people, alcoholics or not, that are still suffering in and out of this patio, will Veronica please take us out with a prayer of her choice? Just say the serenity, first line of the serenity prayer, and everyone else will just chime in, okay?
Okay.
And we're not holding hands until COVID ends, so we're just gonna stand and, hey, if you want to hold hands, hold hands. I don't care. But Okay. Just a moment of meditation for the people in and out of these rooms that are suffering.
Awesome.
God.
Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
Keep going backwards.
Works if you work it.
Well, you can always say right.
So what do we do with the books?
Stack the books, and they go in the living room by the TV.
We haven't. I wrote one, but I don't mind contributing. Yeah, I asked Pat about that. He doesn't want to do that right now. So. Okay, hey, it's good seeing you, by the way. You as well. Yeah. So I mean, you should come back. Yeah. Or whenever you can. That was mine. I borrowed it. Yeah. I loved your.
Honey,
Seen you in so long. You look
what's
great.
up, man? I didn't get to see you last
How did you get into your home? I don't know. I've been hanging out here too long. I guess. I've been staying here for
So I was talking to a friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
Remember my
Had a
CDs?
break up and.
What happened?
I have those.
You do?
Are you done with your water?
They're in my mom's house
No.
somewhere.
Maybe one day.
Well,
That'd be
we
rad if you
were,
get them so I can make
I got
art
the
out of
hiccups.
them.
Not